This is TWiT.
I want to talk about Apple and ads because Apple is doing some things involving ads. And you might be saying to yourself, as some of us do, I think on a regular basis, Apple is one of the most profitable and successful companies in the world. Does it need more ads? Does it need to do ads? Not ads for Apple. Does it need to sell ads in its products? But the fact is that, especially when we talk about Apple TV Plus, every other streaming service at this point essentially has an ad tier. And I know, you don't like it. I don't like it either. I pay the extra for the not ad tier because I just don't want to see the ads. But what Netflix found, and Netflix is number one, is that they were, at their existing price points, they were making more money per user from the ad tier than from their premium no ad tier, which led immediately to two things, which is a reinvestment in the ad tier and raising the prices of the premium tier so that they could make that money from those people too. But what the net result is that Netflix, who was famously like, no, we're not going to even do ads, is now really into ads. And then you see companies like Disney Plus launched famously no ads. They're like, no, it's a beautiful premium experience. Well, guess what? There's a Disney Plus with ads. Amazon added ads. You might say to yourself, I'll just keep this bit going. Amazon, well, it's more of an ecosystem play, really. They don't need to put ads in it, but it's like, wait a second, but have you met Amazon? It's all about the ads. And so now Prime Video customers also get to receive ads. And you're saying to yourself, well, if there's ever going to be a holdout, it's Apple, because Apple is providing a premium product. And the answer is Apple TV, as good, I would say, as the programming is on Apple TV, doesn't get viewed by a lot of people. And it probably would get more customers if it was cheaper. And you could also generate money from those customers with ads. And as Gizmodo wrote a story called Apple TV is probably getting ads yesterday, they have hired a 14-year-long ad executive from NBC Universal named Joseph Cady to beef up its growing video advertising team. If we ever were feeling like it was going to happen. And I think it's great that this headline appeared in Gizmodo yesterday because I want to point out a story I wrote on Macworld in April of 2023, headlined, Why Ads on Apple TV Plus Are As Inevitable as a Ted Lasso Spinoff. For all the reasons I just said to you, it's going to happen because it's a way for Apple to increase its revenue and create new customers who don't have to pay or pay as much for Apple TV Plus. And we don't have to like it. But I think that they're not hiring NBC Universal ad executives for kicks.
Not only that, but it also speaks of Apple's commitment to Apple TV Plus, not just as not just as part of, hey, we want to make the Apple Premium package more valuable by making each component of it more valuable. It's like, if we can get people to subscribe to interested in soccer who are running Android, who are running like other set-top boxes, if we want to make it attractive for them to be able to subscribe to Apple TV Plus as a standalone thing, we have to absolutely do that. And it also shows that once again, ad money is really, really lucrative. This is that Apple already has an ad business. In the App Store and other places, what you see are influenced by ads. Apple runs their ad business a lot better than Google and Facebook do and Amazon do, but nonetheless, it is an ad platform. And as Apple continues to find pressure internationally on even selling their biggest cash cow, the iPhone, every unit that can make more money without sacrificing Apple's mission should be trying to make more money. And if advertising on Apple TV Plus is going to do that, it's going to make the next crop of Oscar-losing Apple features a lot easier to produce.
Ouch. Ouch. Somewhere Martin Scorsese just winced, but it's okay, Andy.
I was, by the way, in Oscars, I thought it was really funny that Jodie Foster said, I really like streaming. I really like streaming. I really like streaming. Like she said it like 3 times in one interview, and I was like, somebody is ready to wants someone to hire her for more streaming.
Yeah.
But anyway,
project.
Someone really is into that. But the one of the things also, it scales up with usage. When we look at, for instance, Netflix is a good example. In some of those shows, if you watch the macro blocking on the show, I mean, you can see every block because it's being compressed so heavily. And one of the reasons for that is that every user watching costs them money. It costs money to deliver that video to the person. When they pay $8 a month or $12 a month or $19 a month, let's just say every hour costs Netflix 8 cents. I don't know what the number is, but let's just say it's 8 cents. So the 2-hour movie might cost 20 cents. or a 2.5 hour movie might cost you 20 cents to deliver that to you. Now, if I'm only going to get $15 from you, how many of those things do you watch before I stop making money? Especially because I'm paying back other things. I've got other investments. It's not just like it can be up to $15. It can be up to like $5 for that transfer or whatever. And I am now, that's getting spread out. Now, if you're with advertising, if you cost me 16 cents and I make 17 cents, then that's a much more scalable model when it comes to the total number of viewers. And so as you start to want to go wider, getting that cost to work out, that cost works out way better as long as you can make an incremental increase in value. And so I think that's going to be, I think that's part of it. And I do think it will widen the market. As long as Apple doesn't take away, I think I'm fine with it as long as they don't take away the ability to pay our way out, because I haven't seen ads in so long.
I think that one of the reasons it's $10 a month now is probably that they know there's going to be a $5 a month ad plan, right? I think that's probably the other shoe dropping.
And these companies are going to you're large enough, you're going to get paid either way, right? And preferably twice. That's your goal with this, right? Like when Amazon added ads and there's like, oh, you pay a little bit extra, you can stay ad free. It's like, well, we win either way, because either you watch the thing with ads and we get paid from the ads, or you give us more money, in which case we get more money. It's kind of like Apple's EU business terms, where it's like, you can leave the App Store, but you're going to pay us that core technology fee because we're going to get our money one way or the other. At the end of the day, that's what's going to, that's what's driving them. And I think, to Andy's point, Apple has made really good strides with Apple TV Plus of trying to make it available in as many places as possible, because it knows that as a service, it has to succeed that way. That's why it's on smart TVs and other set-top boxes and all these third-party places, right? The old Apple probably would have been like, oh, it's on our stuff. You got to buy an Apple TV or a Mac or an iPhone to watch it. No, they don't want that. They're selling services. They want it to be available by the broadest number of people possible. And to that end, if you're going to lower the price and add ads, or you need to introduce an ad free tier that's at a higher cost, like all of that serves to bringing in more revenue and expanding the market share. So I think, it's only a matter of time. That's where we are now. It is a little galling, I think, both ways, because it does smack a little bit of being caught in that, in that corner by these companies where it's like, well, I'm paying you, but I'm also seeing ads. Like, I kind of hate that, right? Like, I feel like there used to be an agreement that you would, public broadcast television, it's free, but you watch ads in exchange. And that hasn't been the deal for a long time, but it still galls a bit.
I think that they have to be, Apple does have to be careful, because they make so much money on so many other things. In that, I know that for me, for some reason, and I don't know what it was, because it was only $3, but when Amazon said, there was something about that $3 that made me so angry.
Yep.
That I was like, I'm already paying Prime. I'm paying not an insignificant amount for Prime. And I get that it's packaged with a bunch of other things, but it's mostly there for me to buy more things from you anyway. And this $3.90, I don't know why it was so insulting.
Well, they didn't add an ad tier below it, right?
To I hate Prime. I literally went from loving Prime, like Prime is like my second favorite thing, to the heck with those guys, and it's not like I don't watch them, but I watch them kind of begrudging. I paid the $3, because I was like, I don't want to watch ads. But I paid the $3 a month, but I'm still, and I think that Apple, this is the risky part of what they're doing, is they're already making a bunch of money, and then they're selling us this thing. I think it would be easier for them to charge us more than if they turn those ads on and say, okay, now you got to pay another $3 a month to get rid of them.
Well, I think that's why they raised the price first instead of rolling everybody to the ad plan. Is I think that they want to actually, which is the right thing to do, is to say, okay, here you if you're not on the plan, like Netflix, I think did this too. You're on the no ad plan. The no ad plan is the plan, which I think is a better way to do it, and it's not what Amazon did. And then you come underneath, and Netflix has shown great success in getting people who previously might have canceled Netflix to instead downgrade to the ad plan and keep Netflix. So you get a little bit of retention in there, and you're reaching maybe an audience that wouldn't have gone without angering. Like the last thing I want to do as somebody who is used to not seeing ads on a platform is suddenly see ads, right? Like that's the worst.
Especially when you're paying for it.
But I'm not offended. Yeah, and I know, but I mean, it's true. Like magazines and newspapers we used to pay for, and they have ads in them. But something about TV in the era of TiVo and then streaming, we have reached that point where we get frustrated. I totally get it, but I think that what we've seen is there is definitely success, and everybody else is doing it because it's successful to broaden your audience by offering a cheaper plan that has ads in it, because some people don't care and they're happy to save the money, and bless them, that's great. But not for me, but it's great.
Also, Apple's in an interesting position with Apple TV Plus and Apple Music. They don't enjoy any of their usual advantages of anything else they do. Like when they create they can create a superlative experience on the iPhone, the iPad, and the Apple Vision Pro and the Apple Watch, because they build the entire thing from start to finish. They build it to synchronize very, very well. They can make sure that the APIs for the apps that run there make things as professional and as wonderful and as easy and attractive as possible for the user. However, Apple Music on an iPhone really runs absolutely no differently than it does on an Android phone. Apple TV Plus on an Apple TV box runs, okay, the screen quality is better, but not to the extent that anybody who's running like a 5-year-old 1040 a typical TV is going to notice. It's the exact same experience. So they're two of the businesses that have to absolutely compete on almost the same commercial footing as any of their competitors, and that's where like the nickel and diming happens, because the nickels are really, really important. The dimes are doubly as important as the nickels.
That's true. Dimes are roughly twice as important as nickels, I found.
Hey, it's Leo Laporte. If you enjoyed this little snippet of our programming, make sure you check out the full MacBreak Weekly. The link is right down there.